Yeah, that excites me. You get my brain spinning there.
Exactly.
Another
That's same here.
another note. This is something you all have softly and appreciatively, gently said, "Hey, you could do this, or you could talk about, for instance, Terraform a while back." Uh, I think uh, I would love to see, and trying to I'm trying to phrase this correctly, because you all have been very supportive. I would love to get an opportunity, and then I just need some accountability. Kick me in the butt on it. You know what I mean? An opportunity to present some, and put some videos out. Maybe that's a link into the podcasting and YouTubing and so on, to say this is how it's done. And we got this guy we're mentoring, and these people we're mentoring in this group to become the next YouTubers of tomorrow. So I don't know. That's me being a little whimsical.
No, that's actually an excellent idea. That was one of the things, as you're saying that, I'm thinking that would be a really interesting, essentially case study, would be to just basically start from like a mentor presentation and say, all right, we're going to take this topic and you're going to present for an hour on it. And then much like we do, and say, okay, well, let's take that recording and now let's turn around and create, an episode or some number of episodes that we're going to put up on a YouTube channel or out on Vimeo, which is now what we do is we do a big chunk that goes to Vimeo, and then we cut it up into smaller, I'll call more bite-sized pieces of that 15 to 20 minutes per episode that go to YouTube. Yeah. And there's a lot of stuff that goes around that we've added around those that give them that professional look and feel. But it would be, those would be some interesting things to actually go in and maybe even, like I said, maybe almost like the equivalent of a case study. Say, okay, we sat down and said, here you go. What do you want to talk about? Went from a presentation, and maybe show how to take that presentation and do a lot out of it. So you could build, some blog posts out of that same research, a lot of that same work. You could reuse it as a blog post. You could reuse it and do a podcast. You could redo it and have a video YouTube tutorial. So making the most out of what you already know or what you already have could actually be a great little way to walk through that. So like that, that's awesome. That's exactly what I wanted. Some things to get people's minds going a little bit. Yeah. Next person. Let's throw some more. What else have we got out there?
Well, it's funny you mentioned patterns, because I was just told that my software generator tool is using a pattern that I didn't know about. And I'm now reading up on the software patterns to figure out which one it is and how it works. But it's like a readability pattern.
Huh.
So I was actually planning on doing one on that once I figured it out.
Can I interject there? It's so funny what I've learned, and it really kind of hit me while I was doing the Python patterns, or doing the classical patterns in Python, is that they're really just sensibility. It's just common sense. It's how you ought to build maintainable, scalable software. And I can look back, and I'm sure that you all can speak on this too. I can look back and see where, I built code with the idea of making it maintainable and scalable, but had no pattern in mind, and ultimately ended up creating the factory pattern or the observer pattern. That's just because it was sensible to do it that way. And it's just so funny. You say that, it just clicked to me like a few weeks ago. These are just sensible ways to build software. And that's a great example.
Yeah, that's always fascinated me, I guess, or amused me, or maybe a little bit of both. When you do software enough times and you see there's certain ways that if you do it right, we'll say with, scalability and maintainability and performance all in mind, and that's, I guess, why the patterns are what they are. You're probably going to fall into that pattern. There's something about that you may not do it exactly like academically the pattern is described, but you're going to get pretty close. And it's interesting because if you've been doing software enough, you can sort of back into patterns. But the benefit then becomes for those that have never done it before, for them to see that, oh, if I'm tackling this problem, here's a pattern I'm probably going to get to. So it speeds it up. It's like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to go give that a shot and then make that, customize that for my solution. All right. Other suggestions, comments, and things of that nature.
Yeah, the other thing, now that we're on YouTube, and YouTube gives us a little more flexibility with what we can do with our videos and Vimeo, I'm kind of leaning towards maybe we should do, so we like have all these nuggets we've talked about, maybe we should take those and do like a 5-10 minute nugget video that we drop on YouTube like every Monday or Friday or something like that.
There we go. Sorry. I thought I was muted and I wasn't. That's a good idea, is find a way to do like a weekly nugget or something like that.
And that could also fall on you, Timothy, like how you talked about, maybe getting into podcasting, getting into blogging. Maybe that's something like, how we talk about everyone doing a nugget, maybe we kind of split it up. Maybe if you guys want to go through the nugget pool we already have, pick a topic you like and maybe do a little write-up on it for blogging and then do a short video on it. That could be something we could divvy up through everybody.
Awesome idea. Yeah.
That'd be fun. That would actually be fun, to just sort of see is have, we could probably find a way to do that, is just have everybody say, hey, once a month, pick a nugget, spend a few minutes and try, take a stab at building a video or audio, preferably a video and audio presentation of it, and see how it goes, and just to get everybody sort of walking through that.
And then the other ideas I kind of had were kind of from more of a software development side of things, but also architectural. So we've done all these kind of like introductions to different tools, like testing, software development, Django, React Native. Why don't we pick like some very common use cases or even some uncommon use cases and actually walk through building a project from beginning to end, like walk through a whole SDLC and STLC process?
That's a good. I'm sorry, go ahead.
You go first.
I was just gonna say, that would be really cool. Not just the software itself, but the DevOps portion of it. And then being able to spin it up, spin it down. I'm going into the Terraform land. I always think about that when I was thinking about those applications I used to build, the custom CMS engine. How would I ever deploy it? I just thought about how manual it would be. But that'd be cool. Sorry.
Oh, no. But with that being said, would you guys be willing to do more of a boot camp style for that? Because that's something I don't think would really warrant to a 40-minute discussion. I think that's more like maybe a 4-hour discussion over like maybe 4 days, like, 4 weekends, like 4 Saturdays. Yeah. Just wanted to throw that out there. If you guys are willing to do it, would you be willing to commit to a longer time frame over, maybe like 2 weekends or, 4 weekends, something like that. So we could kind of get through it quickly. So you get all of it in one shot.
Yeah, I'd certainly commit to that. I'll say my weekends open up in winter because I'm not doing things outside, but certainly can commit to it.
Yeah, because that's something we touched on in the past was changing some. Is like change up a couple of mentor classes, and instead of do an hour and a half, is get together somewhere and do something that's like a 4 or 6 or maybe even 8-hour kind of day on a Saturday or something like that. Or like Michael said, maybe we do pick 2 Saturdays and you could do, because in 2 Saturdays and 2 6-hour sessions, you can get 12 hours. You can do a pretty good deal. You can get pretty deep into stuff. If you look at what we've done for some of the mentor sessions where it's taken, it may take 6, 8 sessions to go through some of the stuff, we could sit down and have everybody there, walk through things, and build an application from scratch, and have actually everybody do it, and maybe even customize it a little bit so you can build that thing for your specific needs, or actually make it something that's useful to you, which has always been the goal for these. And we've had we've touched on these in a few cases where we've had these sort of from start to finish projects, especially early on. We did the one that was basically the Doctor Who site, and building some extensions in WordPress for that. We've done a couple different applications in Python, and in I think we did PHP. We did an application way back, and including in some cases some of that DevOps related stuff, which is difficult to do when you're in a mentor session, but not when you're in a boot camp lab type session where everybody can just come in, hop on their laptop, make sure you've got whatever accounts or whatever set up, so that you can go reach out and you can spin up a VM, or Docker. You can go fire up your little Docker instance. You can go run a bunch of stuff. That's where there's a lot more value if you do it that way, where you say, okay, let's get everybody together, and even if the key would be, it'd be really nice if we could find a way to do that and also do it virtually, which we probably can. There's enough stuff out there now, but that combined with having everybody be able to get together in one location and walk through stuff would be a huge bonus as well. So definitely, if that's something others, people other than Michael and I are interested in, then we'll definitely look into that and see what we could do to maybe pick up. Like you said, I'm the same way. Sometime in January, February, March, when it's cold and not much else is going on, it's a great time to be able to sneak in a Saturday or two to do something like that.
Yeah, one idea I had, Rob, is like maybe we do like one weekend be kind of walk through the software development lifecycle and the software test lifecycle, but start out with like the first, do it maybe. However we can break it up, but maybe start out with like the requirements gathering portion, then, breaking it up, set it up with Jira, because we both have Jira. We can open it up for people, walk through a full project, go through what we need, like hardware wise. So like maybe go spin up Kubernetes or go spin up Amazon, and like basically do all the setup work the first weekend, and lay the groundwork for what we would have to do, like for the software piece, and maybe get into writing the requirements and things like that. Then, do that over one weekend. Then the next weekend, we go through the entire development cycle, walk through all the steps to put it together. And then the third weekend, go through all the testing, setting up your test softwares, and then actually writing your test cases. So you could do that like January, February, March, kind of do it like topic based. Just a thought.
Yeah, something like that would be very valuable to everybody, as far as like just walking through an entire piece or project in that sense.
And I know you've got some projects kicking around. I've got some projects kicking around. I mean, we could actually take one of our ideas and actually kind of outline it and then build it, like do it in the class.
Yeah. And that definitely, and at that point, you're definitely getting into like a full blown, it's a real boot camp at that point, really, because you're going soup to nuts at that point. But if it's something that's a new or hot technology, then I think a lot of us could benefit from it. Something you can put on your resume when you're done, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Good idea. Other suggestions, comments, and things like that? All right, I'm gonna.
Any chance like we might do maybe those? We did a class before whereby we came in together in Franklin. I remember. So, are you going to reintroduce those classes again, like maybe every quarter or something like that, like special classes, like maybe you're covering this topic and we go from one end to end, from the beginning to the end in a summarized way? or in a brief way?
I think so. That's sort of where we're leaning with some of these would be, come in and take a day, go, find a spot that we can meet and walk through something, whatever it happens to be, whether it's like for example, take the React Native stuff that we've done in the mentor class and have a boot camp where we walk in and instead spend 4 or 6 hours, whatever it is, and get everybody walking through building out their on their laptop or whatever, get a React Native environment and build a little application and walk through that as much as we can. With some of the, including with some of those, it'd be maybe even to either setting stuff up so that you've got the emulators or using test flight or stuff like that. And we had talked a couple of times about doing like maybe a quarterly in-person kind of meeting, something that's a little longer, and keep our regular mentor sessions sort of short as they are, and then have a longer version every so often that we cover special topics or something that just needs more time and benefits from us being together. So that you also mentioned that, because that's one of the things that we've tossed around, but it's making sure we've got enough people that people are interested in and would be willing to put that time and an investment in to do it.